Hey everyone, Jay from JPVideos here. Every so often I get asked my viewers what camera equipment I use to make my videos. I've actually made a video on that a few years ago, but since that time I've updated some of my equipment and added a few new items. So today I'm going to show you exactly what I use to make my YouTube videos. Welcome back. Now before we get started, I'm not going to spend too much time on these items because I do have a lot to cover. But if you'd like to get more information or prices on the items you see today, I will have links down below in the description. But if you have questions on anything you see in today's video, don't hesitate to ask. With that said, let's get started. I do want to start off with my tripod because I will be using this for the remainder of the video and want to get this out of the way first. This is a Sunpack 6601 TM. This was bought from Amazon for I think around $50. There's nothing special about it. The only thing I really like is it has the snap locks on it, the flip locks, and it does have a quick release plate, and it does the job of keeping the camera still. Also, this center piece here, as I show, is removable and can be used as an extendable monopod. So that is a nice feature if you need that in a pinch. But I am going to be upgrading this in the near future. It is lightweight. It's easy to use, but the pan head on it doesn't pan very smoothly, as you could say. I'm going to be buying a fluid pan head tripod in the near future, so once I do have the new tripod, I will have it linked up. But this is the current one that I use, and if you're just starting out, it's a great item to have to keep your video stabilized. Alright, the next item I want to show you here is my smartphone, and I'm actually going to be using this to film the remainder of the video, but this is the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. I've owned this for about 2 months now, and it's by far the best phone I've ever owned. It actually has a total of 5 cameras on it, 3 on the back. There's a wide angle, normal, and telephoto lens on it. And on the front you do have a normal and wide angle. This takes all the photographs that you see not only on Facebook but in my photo montages on my video. And I've been implementing this a lot more as filming for my videos because it's always on me, it's compact, has incredible battery life, and on top of that it takes really good video. The normal lens right here does very well in low light, and the wide angle I like to use most because it gives you a better field of view and allows you to see much more of what's there and makes you feel like you're part of the video as well. So this is something that I am extremely happy to have in my arsenal of equipment because it's come in handy more often than I can count. So with that said, I'm going to mount this on the tripod, and that way I can show you the main camera, and we'll continue on with the Galaxy S10 video footage. Alright, so as I mentioned, we're filming the rest of this video on the Galaxy S10. I'm using my wide angle lens so we can see everything in the field of view. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm going to kind of work my way over. But I just want to mention though, if you're starting out and you see all this, just understand this didn't happen overnight. This wasn't accumulated in a matter of days. This took years to build up. Some of the items were given me for free as product reviews, but the majority of what you see here I did purchase myself with my own money or from donations from my viewers. So just keep in mind, if you're starting out on YouTube, don't be overwhelmed saying, oh man, I don't have all this equipment. You can start off with anything you have, such as a smartphone or a cheap point and shoot camera. It doesn't really matter, but I just want to give you a look as to what I have and how I implement it in my videos, and maybe you could get some ideas for yourself for your new equipment or for ideas for your channel as well. So right here we do have the Case Logic. It's a Dslr Camera Bag. This is a very fantastic bag because it has multiple compartments inside. I fit my camera up here, and I fit my lights here, mini tripod, accessories. You got sleeves, you know, throughout. I got pouches in the front for batteries, side pouches. I got on the top here is a laptop compartment, and you'll see too the back is padded for comfort. The straps are padded as well, and the bottom has a hard, dropping some of my equipment. The bottom has a hard shell case on the bottom, so when you leave it on the ground, it's not gonna, you know, it kind of repels dirt and doesn't, you know, tear or rip or anything like that. So it's good in that aspect that it's a pretty durable bag for what I do with urban exploration. Next up is my Pvc Camera Rig. This is something that has really saved my butt more times than I can count because my camera or phone fits in here like this. And I've fallen a few times and this is taking some serious bumps on it, and it protected the camera 100%. The PVC piping itself only cost me around $5. This is hockey tape that I wrapped around it. The most expensive piece is this quick release plate. This cost, I think, around $10 or $15 itself. All you do is, you know, pop it off, pop it on. On top here, I do have mounts for cold shoe mounts and adapter mounts for my lighting, for my microphones. But this is something that you could make yourself. I made it myself. If you just search on YouTube, Pvc Camera Rig, there's various tutorials out there that teach you how to make it and with different designs. But this one, I love it. It's lightweight. You know, I could use it as, you know, a selfie rig. And when I walk with it like this against my chest, and it keeps the camera stabilized and it avoids any wobbling and shaking. And I can also use it for low down shots. So this is a very fantastic piece for urban exploration. Not really practical for everyday shooting, like vlogging, out in public, stuff like that, because this is a pretty huge piece, but it is practical for urban exploration and going on hikes and adventures, because if you trip and fall, this is going to protect your most valuable piece, your camera. Okay, the next piece is right here, is this newer smartphone camera rig. This is a piece that I picked up most recently, and I got the idea from Mike from Good Day from Decay. He bought one for himself, and this is one of the best purchases I've made as of recent, because the phone fits in here. It has an adjustable clamp on it, so it fits any size phone. You tighten it up. This is very lightweight. It is plastic, but it is a tough plastic, and it's comfortable, lightweight. And on top here is cold shoe mounts that you can fit microphones or lights. I do have some adapters up here for lights itself. And on the bottom too, you do have the 1/4" thread, so you can mount this on top of a tripod, or even on top of the mini tripod, you know, and have it standing up like so. But this is something I've used quite a few times now in some of my videos, especially like the Knoebels walk around video, the walkthrough video. I walked around like this. It really helps keep your image stabilized, and it's almost like having a gimbal somewhat. As long as you learn how to use it properly, you want to, you know, keep it, your elbows tight to your body, and walk what is called a ninja walk. It's where you walk heel to toe with your knees slightly bent, and that minimizes any type of shaking or jitteriness. So this was, I think, only maybe $10, and it's I think a must-have for people that film with their smartphones. Now next to that, we do have a Manfrotto mini tripod here. This is something I also use on a regular basis, especially with my main camera. You can set it up. It has a adjustable ball head, and I also use it as a selfie stick. So I mount the camera on top, I walk around with it. You know, I could hold it to do a vlog type thing, or I hold it like this and hold my camera to keep it stabilized. But it's lightweight, compact, and it's great for when you want to get low down, you know, action shots or whatever you want. So that's definitely something that's been used quite often in my equipment. Next to that is another miniature tripod. This one's not as good as far as quality wise. It's made of complete plastic, but as you'll see, it has an adjustable head as well, so you can adjust it to any angle you want. It is lightweight, can be used as a selfie stick as well type thing, or like a handle, camera handle, but it is lightweight. It's more so for smartphones and maybe small point and shoot cameras, not really for anything like DSLRs or my big camera. It's a little too, those items are a little too heavy for this, but this is only, I think, around $2, $3. There's a school bus flying around here with kids on it, jeez. But so those are my two mini tripods, and I guess we'll move on to this next, just because we're in the tripod area. This is a Monopod. This thing is fantastic. This is by Coleman. This has a fluid ball head on it, and you can see it gets, after you loosen the clamp on it, it gets some really smooth pans and tilts on it. It is fantastic. It extends, I forget how tall, but this is the Coleman KX3232. This extends over my head. I'm 5'11", so all you do is loosen the clamps, and you can see it just extends out. The head on the bottom down here actually has a clamp. You can loosen it to swivel it around, so when you're, just to demonstrate, so you can move it around, but you can keep it locked in place too. This is great for when you just want to take the weight off your hands for filming. I wouldn't recommend leaving a camera go on this by itself unless you're on inside or on flat level ground with no wind, but wind can knock it over. It's happened before, but this is very Durable aluminum monopod, comfortable, has a huge plate on top so you can fit any size camera. And on top of that, it is going to really improve your pans and tilts. And this is the same brand I'm going to be buying as my new tripod. It's going to be a Coleman. I'm deciding between two different ones right now, but it's going to be the same brand, and it's going to give me the same quality pans and tilts that you expect to get out of a Coleman product. It is a little bit pricier than the Sun Pack that I have, but rightfully so. It really does the job and gets you some professional looking quality as far as stabilization, pans and tilts. Okay, next up we're going to move to audio. Right here I have what is called the Comica WM100. This is a wireless microphone set, same type that's used on television productions and news reporters that use. You get a transmitter and a receiver. The transmitter you keep on yourself. It comes with the microphone that you, lapel mic that you attach to your collar, and you get the receiver which mounts to your camera. This is great because you could walk up to 100 feet away and it sounds like you're talking right next to the camera. And on top of that, it is compatible with smartphones and DSLRs and video cameras. So I've used it during one of my live streams on my phone at Steamtown, and it worked fantastic. I was able to set the phone down, walk around, and it sounded like I was talking right near the phone. So it's really something I'm going to be using more in the future for videos like that, for being in front of the camera and not being attached to a hard wire tether to the camera. But it is a bit pricey, but it is top level quality equipment. It works off AA's, and you get a bunch of accessories inside here to mount it to your phone, mount it to the camera, the belt clip, and so on and so forth. So for wireless microphones, it's the Comica WM100. My main microphone here is the Rode Video Micro. This is something I use quite often, mainly on my camera here. It goes on the back of it, just like that, plugs in. The great thing I like about this microphone is that, number one, it doesn't take any batteries. Some of the Rode microphones and other larger mics do take a 9-volt square battery. This works off the camera power itself. There's also no adjustments. All you do is adjust your gain in your camera for the sensitivity, and that's it. Other than that, you plug it in and it really provides great audio. This is considered a shotgun mic, which means it picks up audio directly in front of it. When you're talking behind it, it does hear you, but it does sound a bit muffled. But primarily it's used for filming people talking at a distance. And also with this wind muff, it really helps dampen the wind noise. I've used this in the turnpike tunnels, where it's basically like a wind tunnel in there. Anyone who was on that tour could vouch for that. This really did a great job of dampening the wind. You're able to hear me talk still and very slightly heard the wind. So definitely, if you're looking for a starter mic, I would go forth with this, and you can always upgrade down the road, but this is relatively inexpensive and works fantastic. It also works for smartphones as well. It does come with a different adapter plug with a 3-ring sleeve instead of 2, and you can use it for your smartphone to get better audio. Now, speaking of smartphone audio, this next item I feel is a must-have. I'm actually using it right now. This is called the Purple Panda. This is a wired lapel microphone, very inexpensive, but as you could tell from the video, very great, clear, crystal, solid quality, no feedback, no interference. And this works with smartphones. It comes with an adapter for the smartphone and for DSLRs and video cameras. So it's a universal microphone. It comes with a long extension, so you could be up to 10 feet away from the camera and you don't even realize it's there. But I think it's a must-have if you film with smartphones, because when filming with the smartphone, especially even live streams, when you're facing your screen, holding your phone, it picks up your voice, no problem at all. When you're in front of the camera like this or a distance away, it has a hard time hearing your voice. It's very low, sometimes muffled. So if you want great audio all around while filming with your smartphone, I definitely recommend the Purple Panda. It's one of the better, most affordable external microphones you could get for your camera equipment. If you get this and pair it with this, you're good to go. You're going to have great video quality, stabilized, great audio, and people are going to really notice the difference in your videos. Okay, right in front of us here is a unique item. This is pivot head camera sunglasses. I forget the model, but they are linked down below. I don't believe they make these anymore, but I will have a link for a similar item. They do make camera sunglasses out there. I actually went through 2 different pairs before I got ones that were good quality, and this has the camera right in the middle here, and I'll demonstrate when you wear them. unless you're looking right at it, you can't really tell there's a camera there. So this is good for walking through like retail stores or undercover stuff and not wanting to draw any attention to yourself. You could also wear it on top of your hat like this and have it recording. And the way it works is there's a 2-button press here. One is for photo, one's for video, and there's a button on the bottom for recording. So again, these are a little bit pricier, but they do provide good 1080p quality, 30 frames a second. And if you're looking to do something that's not going to draw attention to yourself, these definitely will come in handy. I've used them a few times before, and the only thing is there's no stabilization with these. So if you're walking around, it is a little bit jumpy, but if you stand still, slowly pan your head, it does provide some pretty decent footage. Okay, next up is just an accessory I use for various equipment. This is I forget the proper name, but it's basically a multi-purpose rig or clamp to use different items. The way this works is you get a clamp here and you clamp this to your tripod or anywhere that you want. And on top here is a 1/4-inch thread. You could put a external light on here, you know, like this. You could put a monitor on here. You could put anything you want. I've used this in some of my ghost hunts to provide additional lighting. And when you loosen it, you could put it to any position that you want. There's an adjustable ball head on top. This goes to any position, any angle. And then when you tighten it, it stays locked in place. It's tight, it's not going anywhere. So this is not something I use on a regular basis, but it's nice to have. I have used it before with the monitor on my tripod, and it has worked pretty well. Again, this is just something that I wanted to have just in case I needed to mount something else. I didn't have room on my tripod. Instead of giving another bracket, this is something that's quick and portable. I could just pop on there at anytime I want to. Speaking of monitors, I do have a 7-inch monitor. This is made by Newer. This is something I purchased last year, and I've used it a few times, and I've used it most recently for helping my brother make some softball skills videos. Those videos aren't on my channel, they're on a different channel, but it's great because it has a sunshade and it basically duplicates the view on my camera here. This is only a little, I think, 2.5-inch, 3-inch screen on my camera. This is a 7-inch, so it's like almost like a small TV. And you get to see if everything's in frame, in focus, and it's, I believe it's 1080 quality. You can adjust the different menus. It works with AV and HDMI, and the HDMI port plugs right in. And it gets powered by these batteries right here. You can see right here it says field monitor. It's a blue screen, so it's powered on. But it does work off these rechargeable batteries. I do have, I should say, I'll get to those batteries in a moment to tell you more about them, but this is a relatively inexpensive monitor. There are much more expensive ones out there. There's a 5-inch and a 7-inch. I opted for the 7-inch just to get a better, optical scene, so I could see everything better. But again, it has a little sunshade that goes around it, a sun hood, so it can help see in bright lights, bright days like today. And not something you want to use traditionally for walking around doing urban exploring, but I have mounted it on here before with a mount accessory for a car show I did, and I had this rig here. I was able to see the monitor right in front of me, and it really helped me see that I had everything in frame, in focus, get those nice tight shots, and it looked pretty well as far as a professional rig. People were impressed, like, wow, that's a pretty cool setup. So you do have multiple possibilities as to how you'd want to use it. Traditionally though, it's used for a stationary shot where you have your camera on the tripod, and I usually mount this on top of my monopod now, or using the clamp. So that's what you use it for. It just helps get your shots into frame, see everything much more clearly and bigger and brighter, and that way you don't have to worry about going back and reshooting it again. Next to that, we do have a kind of fancy kitchen timer. What this is a time-lapse pod here, and what it does is you mount your camera on top here. It has a 1/4-inch thread. You turn it and it starts ticking like a kitchen timer. And what it does is when the camera's on here, it will slowly pan while you're recording. And what you do is when you speed that up, that provides a panning time lapse. I've used it at Knoebels a few times. I've used it in other areas, and it goes up to 120 minutes, which is 2 hours. So you could have this going for 2 hours and do like a 360 pan if you want to. The only thing you need to do is just have your camera mounted on here. It also has a 1/4-inch insert on the bottom, so you can mount it on a mini tripod and adjust your angle, so that way it's not completely flat. I've used it a few times. It's really good for B-roll and for a cinematic look, especially when there's like clouds moving by, trees moving, people moving. and you speed it up, it really looks fantastic. Dinner's ready. Okay, right back here we do have my LED light panels. These are 2 of 4 LED lights. These are made by Best Light, and these also work with the same batteries. They pop in the back here, and it has a sensitivity dial on the back, and they get cranked up, and I use these for all my urban exploration videos. I do have 2 of them here, so both of them could get mounted on my camera rig or even on my smartphone rig. And these are a must-have for urban exploration because we come into some dark, creepy places with bad flooring, bad roofs, and this really lights it up almost like daytime in there. On top of that too, they are lightweight, they're portable. They also get powered off of AA batteries if you wish to. It takes 6 AA's. I don't recommend it though because it will eat through the batteries fairly quick, and it doesn't get as bright, but it is good in a pinch if your batteries did die out. But it does have a dial on back to adjust the sensitivity from 1 to 99, and 2 of these really light up whatever I'm filming and provide great footage for you guys. So you see everything crystal clear, takes away the graininess in the camera in the videos, has mounts on both sides for the 1/4" thread, so you can use this even on, you know, like this with the Monopod, the Manfrotto tripod. You could have, you know, lighting just like this to light up any particular area. I've done this before too. You get your smartphone in one hand, this in the other, and you know, it really does the job. Now for these batteries, these are newer. They're made by Newer, N-E-W-E-R, and they are the NPF550. I actually have 5 of these batteries, and depending on how bright you have the light or how long you're using the monitor, you do get good duration out of them. I always have 5 of them freshly charged up, so usually when I go through an exploration, it takes maybe 1 to 2 hours. I have 1 in each light. Very seldom does the battery run out. I usually get through all of my exploration in the video before having to replace the batteries. There's a few times where it did cut out, but it's very seldom that happens. Obviously cold weather will eat it away faster, but on a day like today, it's around 70 degrees, sunny, warm, and you'll get full battery life out of these. And again, 5 batteries. I have a double charger at home, so I could charge 2 at a time. And these are pretty inexpensive. I think I got these off eBay. You could buy them individually or in like a 4-pack. And if you're getting LED light panels like this or monitors, these batteries are a must-have. The more you have, the better. You can't really go wrong with having multiple batteries. All right, so let's get the last few items. The next one here is the Polaroid Cube Plus. This is a fantastic little camera. On the bottom here, you'll notice a little shiny part. That's actually a high-powered magnet. And you can see it's pretty strong. It's holding this, and this weighs probably about 2 pounds. So that is a strong magnet. But this is something that I've used multiple times. It has a wide angle field of view, films in 1080, I believe 30p, also 720, and takes still frames. It has a 1-button design and a Wi-Fi button, and you can connect it to the Polaroid Cube app and see on your phone what the camera sees. I've used this on actually train videos at the Hudson Mountain Railroad. Replaced this on a flat car, ran it around the display, and gave a really cool perspective as if you're riding the train itself. The battery lasts around, I think, 45 minutes to an hour. You charge it in the back here. It takes a little micro SD card, but it's very inconspicuous. It's magnetic. I put it on my car before doing some B-roll for certain locations I was going to down in Ocean City, but it's very lightweight, portable, and it takes pretty good quality video. The only thing is in low light, not so good. It has a very small sensor, obviously, for how small it is, but this is a really good camera though for B-roll, for action shots. You could mount it to your motorcycle, bicycle, on the side of a street sign, side of your car. And the magnetic feature really comes in handy and is unique because most cameras don't have that option. Okay, the next piece here is one of my more important pieces here. This is my main camera. This is something I've upgraded recently. This is the Panasonic Vx 981. This is considered a video camera or camcorder. I upgraded from the V770, and I'm a huge fan of Panasonic camcorders. They make some of the best ones out there. Between the 5-axis image stabilization, the audio, the zoom, and all the features you would want to have for your gear, such as the mic input, micro HDMI input, and multiple batteries that you can use on it, and just a bunch of other features. Stabilization. This one actually has night vision with an infrared light down here. The lens hood does come off, which will help for that too. Has a zoom focus, a focus adjustment wheel here. So you can go into manual focus and fine tune the focus for like a focus pull or something like that. The screen does rotate for selfie mode for doing your selfies or looking at the camera. It does fold in as well. On here you have your zoom rocker. It does take still photos, not the greatest photos, but it's not intended for that. But with this battery, the factory battery, you get around an hour and a half worth of video footage. I do have an extended battery in here where you can get up to 3 hours of video footage. Also has your charging port. Down here has a headphone jack so you can listen to the audio live. So it's very comparable to a consumer grade camera that they use for like newscasts, for small video productions. So you could hook up your microphone on here, monitor the audio with the headphones, use it with the monitor, make sure everything's in focus and crystal clear, and you're gonna really get some really awesome footage. It does shoot 4K, but I shoot everything in my channel in 1080 60p. It's easier to edit, easier on the computer, and most people don't really view things as 4K on their TVs at home. The only thing with the exception is with my smartphone, when I do film videos like this, wide angle, it is 30 frames a second, but 60 frames is good for slow motion when I slow things down for B-roll or for some action shots. This actually does shoot up to, I think, 120 frames a second as well, so you can get even smoother footage. I don't think it records audio in that option, but it is possible to do that though. It also has your cold shoe mount, which is retractable. This is where you mount your microphone, your light, anything that you want, but it is retractable. That's where everything would go. Very compact, lightweight, but is rugged and durable. It has taken a tumbler too, especially in the cage here. The cage protected it, but you know, still getting jostled around. It still works fantastic, and I can't really say enough good things about it. In the bottom is your SD card. And if you're starting out, people always wonder, what camera should I get? There's a lot of options out there. DSLRs, in my opinion, are great cameras, but they're more so for interviews, for photography, not so much for urban exploration. It really depends on what your channel is going to be about. DSLRs provide some of the best images out there, but you're paying for it. It comes at a cost. You do have to buy multiple lenses, such as wide angle, telephoto, prime lenses, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of options out there, and some of the lenses cost more than the cameras themselves. I'm not into that type of setup. I prefer a video camera. This is rugged. I could zoom up to, I think, 40 times. So those of you who've watched my videos, I've zoomed in on ski slopes before. I zoomed in at Gettysburg up a little round top, and we were able to see the people up there. So this has pretty much everything rolled into one, minus the photo capabilities. It does take still photos, but not great quality, but that's what my phone is for. But again, if you're starting out, you're wondering what to get, I either recommend a great quality smartphone or iPhone, or the Galaxy S10 like I have, or a camera like this. There are various variations of this by Panasonic. There's lower quality, I shouldn't say lower quality, but cameras with less options that don't have the cold shoe or the night vision or the mic input. And if you're just starting out for a handheld camera, this is all you would need. The stabilization though is awesome though. I mean, when you really get your walking down, especially using with this rig, it is pretty silky smooth. Very seldom is it really jittery. And again, I definitely recommend this if you're starting out and want a good quality camera that has multiple uses, multiple options. And on top of that too, has a little built-in LED light. So if you don't have your light on you, you can use a light in a pinch to illuminate right in front of you. But that is my main camera. This is what I use for 99% of my videos. My phone comes second. The Cube I don't use for primary video because audio isn't very good, and again, low light's not very good, no stabilization. It's good just to mount it for some B-roll footage. Okay, my next and final piece is going to be my most fun camera I have, is the Dji Spark. I call this the Blue Jay for obvious reasons. This is something I purchased when it first came out, and the price has come down since then, but there's a lot of cool features on this little drone. On the front here, there's a sensor. This is a crash avoidance sensor, and I also use this for hand gestures. You can control this just with the palm of your hand to take off, to back up, to follow you. You could do different gestures to take a photo, take a video, and it's almost like being a Jedi in Star Wars. You could control it. And I've done a demonstration of that in my tutorial video, which I'll link up in the corner of the screen. If you haven't watched that, it covers everything that this little thing is capable of doing. Flies up to a mile away, Has a 2-axis gimbal with a 1080p 30 frames a second camera. On the bottom it has optical sensors, so if there's no GPS, it will maintain its orientation on the ground. It does take these batteries, which I have 3 of them. They get anywhere from 12 to 14 minutes of flight time, which for me is plenty. And inside the case here, you do have other accessories. I do have the controller for it, and in the bottom here, it holds your smartphone so you can see your field of view, your monitor as to what the drone sees. I have additional batteries. I do have landing legs for it. I do have additional props. And this case itself is fantastic. It's laser cutout foam, so it holds the drone in here nicely, holds the batteries, the controller, additional batteries, accessories, the zipper pouch, and it's a nice neoprene case and lightweight. And it's very compact. It doesn't draw any attention to yourself. Prior to this, I had the DJI Phantom 3. That thing is a big white drone. That's like flying around, like, I don't know what you want to call it, like flying around something this size. It really draws attention, and that's not always a good thing. The case itself was like a giant luggage suitcase. It wasn't practical for urban exploration. I had to carry that thing, I think it was to the Mahanoy train tunnel, and my arm was killing me by the end of that time. This thing I could fit in the backpack, like a regular backpack. I can carry it alone, and this has provided me some fantastic aerial footage, great stills, and people knock it saying, "Oh, it's a toy drone." It's not. You know, battery life sucks, this and that, but when you compare it to the size, the portability, the discretion that it helps you get, it really is fantastic for urban exploring, getting into those tight places. This is not going to take up much room, won't draw any attention, and it is pretty affordable compared to the other drones. Alright guys, that's going to conclude my video today, showing everything that I use to make my YouTube videos. The only thing I didn't show was my laptop, which is a Toshiba satellite laptop. And my editing software is Filmora. It is everything that I use that you see here and that you don't see to make my YouTube content. If you have any questions on anything you saw today in this video, don't hesitate to ask. I'll do my best to answer it. If there's any links that don't work, make sure you let me know. I will provide a new link for you to get some more information or prices. On top of that though, if you have questions about making YouTube videos or want some help getting started, feel free to reach out to me. I do have a Facebook link, an email, and other links down below in the description where you can contact me to ask questions, to talk about certain things, or to even help support my channel, such as a merchandise shop, Patreon, PayPal, and photos for sale. And thanks to viewers like you who donated and bought shirts and became Patreon members, you were able to help me buy some of this equipment. And I can't thank you enough, because without your help, it wouldn't be possible, at least not for a long time. Also keep in mind too that for my videos, it's important that you not only like my videos, but leave a comment down below. It shows that you're actively watching my videos and ensures that you will get notified when I upload new videos. So with that said, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.